The purpose of this video is not to call out or humiliate or highlight or anything to any individual player. It's just a matter of circumstance that these people happen to be on this video that I edited doing the things that they're doing. Just trying to take advantage of a very useful and rarely held tool in video to demonstrate some things that are happening on the rink and try to make some corrections because they might not be obvious when you're at ice level. Just for the betterment of the team. So again, this is not to call out any individuals. This is just what happened to be happening in this time and place. That time and place is the third period of the game against Rutgers, where we were trailing 4-2 coming into the third period. The 2 goals differential requires no special game tactics. It's still pretty ordinary course, especially for a high-scoring team like ourselves. You figure we score 2 1/3 goals per period or something like that. So it shouldn't be any issue. So, okay, here we go. Opening face-off of the third, and right away there's a loose puck that we can go after, and I'm for defense pinching at any line that they can. I'm pretty generous with it, I feel like. Scott and I both are, but that's for 50-50 pucks. 50-50 is about as generous as you're going to get. This puck's about a 0-100 puck. Maybe it's 10-90. I don't even know what the upshot is here. You look at the forwards. You look at one of the forwards is 20 feet offside. So even if we get this puck, there's not a lot of upside to it. On the follow-through, no puck, no body, no nothing. And they're off to the races right off the hop. We scored the last 2 goals of this game. We had the momentum. And creating a 2-on-1 that Fromm has to make a good stop on right off the hop, not ideal. So we jammed the snooze button off the opening face-off. It's no wonder we give up a number of first goals. Here we are, defensive zone draw, and little stick play there at the front. But look, a clean win, and in the defensive zone in a big spot, and there's just a lot of watching this. Here's a player on his backhand with a player real tight on him, and no one is remotely interested in getting this puck. No one is there to help. We'll let it roll. He reverses it into nowhere. It's not on him either to necessarily. I mean, I'm not really sure what he's supposed to do, to be quite honest. I mean, I guess he could try to spin on his forehand and try to ice this thing. No one's in a position to receive a pass. That's got to be automatic from the defensive partner to shell out here and get an opportunity to receive a pass for him. No sense of urgency to make a play there, and it ends up becoming nothing at all. And we're fortunate on that front that it becomes nothing. Here we go, offensive zone now. And watch, this is a good awareness play here. You're good on the forecheck here. Now watch the situation. So right here you're going to see there's 4 guys in between number 10 here and the puck. It's just not tenable that a pass is going to get through there. They have it sealed off pretty well. So where's the area to find? There it is. And he finds it. I don't know. Maybe the puck beat him to the read. I don't know. That's not really overly important. But that's the kind of thing that we have to get in the habit of, is finding our way. Don't just play lane hockey. Find your way into an area that's beneficial to the team, that's beneficial to supporting the puck, beneficial to you scoring goals or preventing goals, whatever it is. Great opportunity there and executed well. So here we come 3-on-2, and despite the 3-on-2 chance, we end up coming back and defending this pretty well. We're in pretty good shape overall. No real qualms about it. It's good battle. We're supporting the puck well. Obviously, we'd like to have that pass. You can't always make it. That's fine. But here's where we get into trouble. Defenseman comes back, and he's all by himself. There are 4 guys, all incapable in their own separate way of receiving a pass. You got 2 guys that are standing next to each other. One guy, at least is coming back down the middle. Then the guy on the far side has found coverage, which is fascinating. So there's just no chance of success. We end up turning the puck over. We're all back. Now we're all touching the net, yet they still are able to get 1-2 chances on net before we're finally able to do anything with it. We try to skate it out there. It doesn't work. We get a free out on the change, end up having to bang it out. You got to help. or you're going to be defending way too much. Here we go, free out. The partner's asleep there, and then gets beat back inside. They miss the net. Just it's all about just the one pass to just get ourselves establishing possession, reverse the flow, get away from that forecheck, and exit the zone. We're really good after that first pass is completed, but you can't be asleep. So here we go here, a forecheck. The short time later is going to generate a chance here. That's great. Okay, and then here we go on the support play. Player is sitting behind the net. That's great. Ready in the dead zone there to find an opportunity. However, once this cut into the interior is there, that play dies. That play behind the net is dead. So then that means it's time to move. What happens is that there's no movement. The puck's now fully in the possession of the other team and still sitting behind the net. Probably not a lot of hope for anything to happen there. It's a tough way to get back. It ends up being the guy that's F1 on the forecheck ends up being F1 on the back check too. We end up getting an outnumbered situation as the puck is just kind of feathered wide. But, you know, that's, again, it's just movement, supporting the puck. It's all important to keeping the play alive offensively and keeping the puck out of our net defensively. Nitpick coming up here, I'll admit it, later in the same sequence. Okay, here we are in the late offside. Get the forecheck in. Now, here we go. I like the idea of forcing players to the right so that we have a better chance on our forehand to make plays. Why face extra board battles on your wrong side if you don't have to? If that's too much to think about during the game, which direction you're forcing somebody, I can accept that as an answer. That might be the case. So here we go. All the Rutgers guys really are on one side, or at least all the reasonable passing lanes are on one side. All the Penn guys are standing on the left here. So ideally, you'd want to snake him out to his backhand, make him make a tougher play into our people instead of into our friends, instead of to chase out the other way. We're not equipped for it. And obviously, F1 can't have eyes in the back of his head there, but it ends up being a three-line carry right into the zone. Again, it's a minor detail. It's a nitpick. That's all it is. It's probably the end of the shift too, and it is as he heads off. But you know, that's all. It's just little details that could make our life just that much easier. So this trend of face-off plays being drowsy on them continues here. Okay, we're okay. The action's in the front. We end up boxing out this guy. That's great and all. It's a one face-off, and it's one player's responsibility. The other player's responsibility is to widen out there to accept the pass. It's a clean win in the defensive zone draw. We turned into a loss. I mean, clearly there's nobody there, so it's still pretty ill-advised, but you have to expect that as a defenseman, that there's somebody that's there that's widening out to do it. So here's the result. Pulls the winger down. Okay, that leaves the point wide open. They send this flutter ball thing not even close to the net. And then here we are again, chance to get it out. There's the action. The guy's wide open. We can cross a line with it. The player explodes on the sideboards there. We end up turning it back over. So here they come. Now that player's upset. Makes an aggressive play there. It ended up just about working out here. Then that axe chop, which I can't believe wasn't a penalty. Now it's hero ball time. We're going to go all behind the net. And they're not anticipating that, so that actually nearly worked. But you have to finish that guy off into the boards if you're going to make that aggressive of a play. It's got to be aggressive all the way through. You can't half-aggressive. You can't aggressively skate and not aggressively play. It doesn't. Those two things don't work out. As a result, two guys go behind. They're able to bang this thing out the center. I understand, a player gets upset, so you get that adrenaline going. You think you can dunk it from the foul line, but, hurt them. Don't hurt us by just, running around aimlessly. Put a body on somebody if you're upset. Make a clean hit. Don't try to chop somebody's head off, though. Here we go here. A little thing, but again, it's about finding space and being able to get open and supporting the rush. We're on the power play here. It's probably not intuitive on the screen, but we're on the power play. We come to the red line, 3 abreast. No passing lane really available, nothing that's overly reasonable. So what we could have instead, and I'm very much in favor of having players crisscross in the neutral zone and shooting gaps and finding holes in zones. Here we have an opportunity to maybe slow it down a little bit, overlap over top of that guy, which would draw the middle forechecker across into the middle. That would open up the wide lane, the long lane on the far side of the rink. And given how poor their spacing is on the penalty kill forecheck, that would be an easy entry. and then we could get it back across the rink if we had to. But instead, we opt to go and take a guy on one-on-one with a man advantage. I don't know that's the most productive way to do it. Okay, here we go. Let's see if we learned anything off these defensive zone draws now that we're getting later in the game. The action's going to be right here, and it's right down the pike. It just can't happen in a situation like that. They just walk right through us all, right for a good chance on net, end up crashing into the goaltender there. That can't be allowed. Here we go. It's a little later in the sequence. We're going to see this puck's going to rotate out. Here's a chance in front. You don't know what's going to happen. Is this shot going to come right away, right at this point, or what exactly is going to happen next? Got a guy that's just puck watching here. Gives the old free pass right to the front. That's a box out opportunity. And as a result of no box out, it gets his partner killed along the boards there. Just no need for this. It's just about a 10 of hockey, just checking over your shoulder, just making sure everything in your zone is okay, and then you can focus on more advanced things. But it starts all at home. It starts off of what could have been a nothing play off of a defensive zone face-off. We opted out of it. Transition hockey here as we're going to get the puck into the corner. We briefly make ourselves available for a pass. The puck battle ends up getting lost, and that happens. But watch here, and this is just a little detail here of the game and just how to be attentive in the defensive zone. This stick here never touches the surface for the remainder of the shift. Okay, a battle, I understand that happens, but look at where this stick is. It's a mile high. It never touches the floor again. It's asinine to me that would occur in a purely defensive situation. You don't know what you can find down there. Having the stick at hip high only entitles you to hip high pucks at best. You don't know what you can find. I'm not sure why your stick wouldn't be on the ice there for the remainder of a defending shift. It just doesn't make sense. Little details, big difference. Here we got transition hockey once again, and defensemen are defending it pretty well. We're inside the dots. We're defending from the dots and out. Forward with some good back pressure, so it allows us to be aggressive, tighten up those gaps. Maybe we don't need to gang up on that guy so much, but that's fine. And then here it is. Defensemen start to drift away. We identify a guy that's open in front. The forward comes in, and he moves him out. Now, ideally, you want to come from the other side, stick side from the interior and move him out that way. You don't always have time for that. Makes the smartest play that he could at the time, which is moving that guy out of there. That's great. Puck rotates back out. We start to get into our defensive structure. That's really good. Now, at this point, or in that transition time when it rotates out, either the last guy back or the lead partner, the lead defenseman, has to call out a switch here. See, we're in really good defensive structure, except for the fact that there's other players on the rink. So this guy is left all alone in front because no one follows through, no one calls a switch. You have a forward down low, you have two defensemen that their eyes are glued to the blue line, and this is an inexcusable goal in a 4-3 game midway through the third period against a far inferior team. No reason to have this happen. It's just lack of communication. It's inattentiveness in front. Likely the death knell of this game too. So here we go on the penalty kill here. You notice the high guy is our defenseman. Obviously just coming off of a sequence where we talked about getting switches and call-offs and things like that. Maybe have an opportunity to switch there. There's only so many looks you get on the PK forecheck, probably a 1-3 or a 2-2. In a lot of situations here, our spacing is just putrid. You got one guy that's in a passing lane, two guys are, one's kind of in a lane and the other one, I don't know that there's going to be any action over there. Either way, from the looks of this thing, it almost looks like we're going to give up a 4-on-1 the other way based on where we're at and where the puck is headed. And then when you let it roll, you realize that's exactly what happens. Short-handed, you give up a 4-on-1, and they get a great chance from inside the house that they miss on the wide side. So, as you let it roll all the way through here, you see the F1 actually comes all the way back to his house, and he ends up making a good box out, real proper, might even save the goal in a 2-goal game late as we even things up there. Okay, here comes the sequence transition-wise here. We defended pretty okay. Force him in wide, puck gets rimmed around. We have the inside track on it, so we're in pretty good shape on getting this thing out. And here we go again, though. a situation where, and here comes the thought bubble, 4 guys in the middle of the rink while a defenseman has his back turned on a retrieval play, and the thought is, boy, I can't wait to see how he gets out of this. No doubt it's going to be awesome. And it would have to be, because he's going to go in, he's going to get double teamed here, and there is not a single player that's interested in getting this puck. I see some of the guys on the rink, I know at least a couple of them want the puck a lot. Not in this instance, though. We elect to watch. As a result, player 5 is double teamed there. We lose the puck. And then it ends up being a situation where we just have to bang this thing out the center. Again, it's just about adding that automation to our game. The dead zones in the offensive zone are the same dead zones in the defensive zone, and we can use them to our advantage on retrievals. Obviously, we elect not to there in a situation where we really need the puck as we're down late. So we'll just take a fast look at a power play situation here late. This one involves a pretty collapsed box. You'll see that they don't respect the movement so much of it. They continue to collapse down. You see how low they get. Pretty unlikely that we're going to find a play in the slot as designed down there, which is fine because it opens up a lot of room. We talked about it in practice on Wednesday about getting a shot from the top of the circles. I think that scores a lot with the players that we have in this league. And then 2, working that, I'm going to have to artificially draw it here as we don't have a look at it. But artificially, there's a lane that opens up diagonally off a rotation to the far post. Okay, those are the 2 plays that are probably most open in a situation where they collapse down low. I'll take that. Some of the players that we have that can shoot from mid-range, I'll trust that shot from the ladies' tees. So, again, just something to look for. Okay, if they have that loose penalty kill, we can penetrate inside. If they have a real tight penalty kill, then we're able to let it fly from a little bit of distance or work a tip play if we don't have a full chance to pull the trigger from the slot. Both are okay.